Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you doing? Well, this one is going to be pretty much a short podcast, and this one is actually what I'm going to discuss is a game called Tante Kibukawa Ryosuke Jikantan. That translates to Detective Ryosuke Hibukawa Incident Story, one of the popular G-MODE games back in the 2000s and still popular today. G-Mode mystery series that tends to, you know, get a lot of people, um, from Japan pretty much interested. It's available on Nintendo Switch and Steam, but I guess you could look at it as prior to having quirky characters. Let's say like Ace Attorney um, and the Phoenix Wright series. There was this quirky individual named Kibukawa Ryosuke, and he was interesting because he was very weird. He he's always sleepy, always wears suspenders, and with this frilly ribbon or tie or what do you want to call it. It's just something that he's very odd, and joining him in this detective agency, you have you have the main character, and this is the person you play the character of Ikurumi Masao. He's a game scenario writer, a friend of Hibukawa's, and he pretty much frequents the detective agency, always coming up trying to look for material for his upcoming video games. So, often he helps out the detective agency. Well, that you're the person, in the agency, so you're pretty much forced to work for free due to convenience. And he has a habit of occasionally letting out a strange sigh when talking to the others. But you're joined with Hibukawa's assistant. Her name is Sagishima Izuna. She is a really talented person, solve cases by herself, and pretty much she is someone that is always careful about Hibukawa, always making sure that you don't do anything stupid to disturb him, letting him sleep. Kibukawa is the director of the Hibukawa Detective Agency. He's a great detective, and again, just very, very weird and eccentric. And a lot of people find him to be unusual, but he has a strong sense of justice, and he's very good at what he does as a detective. And then you have Shirasagisu Ryoji, or actually, I think lately I think I saw him Sagishima Ryoji. Depends of I'm not sure if it depends on the game. But he has two different names anyway. Um, he has the abilities to see the true emotions that others don't show. He suffers from a disease called von Hippel-Lindau disease, and it's incurable. Um, but yeah, he's pretty much the husband of Izuna, and so you'll get to know these characters throughout the series and so forth. So the game that I'm playing right now is the first game, and this game is let me get it here. It's called the Mask Fantasy Murder Case. This is the first game in the series, and it's about the strange death of a game programmer. So he was found dead in his apartment playing the RPG Taklimax or something like that. So what's happening right now, and in the beginning of the game, you're playing Masao. Um, what's happening is that this, you know, you're just looking for material and just talking to people, but then suddenly you saw on the news about this office worker who died, and they said they're trying to say it was stress related, So what's happening right now is this corporation that the person worked at. He They want you to investigate to make sure that what he died is correct, because um, that it's actually non-work related, actually, because the news was saying that he probably died from work related stress, which is common in Japan, um, especially way back then. When people had to work more than you know work overtime without getting overtime pay. So pretty much, he wants you to disprove of the that there was any accident, so they don't have to pay a family and so forth, right? So that's where we are at right now, and how the game is played on the Nintendo Switch. Again, this is based on a video game that came out. Let's see here. I think it was back in. Let me see here. Was it back in 19? Let me see. I'm looking right now. Because the game started back in 2005. So probably that's probably when. You just probably. Wait, no. It began. The work was announced as distributed as a mobile app from July 2002 to December 2011. So we know that G-MODE went out of business. It was pretty much acquired by another company. Um, I think it was One Up Games or so, and then One Up was picked up by Marvelous. But anyway, they went from July 2002 to December 2011. So it's one of the long-running games from the company, and there are a plethora of games that have been released. I know on the Switch there's 14. So, and there's just so many. I think let's see here. I think they still have quite a bit to release, but I do know that they did release something for the DS. Um, I'm not sure. It's a new work actually. So, anyway, for this game, um, I'm looking at the story about here. Okay, so the story about this game is that Ishiyama Takaya is a person who pretty much created the project, production, script, direction, and music. So he went under the name of Iku Masao, and pretty much Ishiyama has always been a big fan of adventure games, and ever since he played Portopia Serial Murder Case when he was an elementary student, and this led to him, joining with Genki. And even though he was a sound designer, he was creating his own adventure games using free engines such as Nscripter as a hobby. So he was assigned to a mobile phone app production department, and they had to release a large number of games per month on a monthly basis. And he made his proposal of a game, a mystery game, and so he was forced to create one game with a small number of people in a short period of time. And so he realized that mobile phone games were not suitable for action games, so he decided to create an adventure game. But while he was working on it, um, he wanted to bring in old school flavor of the old games, and so he decided to do a command selection format. And the I think he believed in going in the direction of making a mystery game with a detective agency. And according to Ishiyama, the creator, said he had no intention of Kibukawa becoming a strange person from the beginning. He just speculated that the fact that the player was assigned the role of a secretary rather than the standard role of Watson, which was a novelty unique to the game. Ishiyama also said that in order to bring out the detective's role, he placed another assistant between the player and the detective. So he was a big fan of Shinhonkoku, and pretty much he wanted to have that type of atmosphere. So he wrote the script using a scratch pad, had images, programmed scenarios, and music that he put all together in 50 kilobytes. And pretty much, yeah, it was the first game, and um, I think it for the most part, I'm not even sure if he realized how popular the game was going to be, but it became a best-selling series, and again, it's still popular today, especially now that G-Mode is bringing back these nostalgic games. So what you see here is the format. You have their storyline, but it's always going to show these pretty much these main four. So the main four is pretty much you speak to the person. This one right here is you investigate the situation. Here on the bottom left is you make a phone call, and then this one is pretty much you want to save the game. Yes, you want to save it. So right now here we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk, and you have a choice. Do you want to request more details? Do you want to ask this company guy Tsunaga more questions, or do you want to ask about Murasaki, the person who passed away? So here we are going to ask him, just more details, and he says, "I wasn't so busy," or he said actually he wasn't so busy that he committed suicide. But I can't think of any reason why he would commit suicide. And then Sanaga says if he was murdered by someone, the insurance money the company had put out on him would be reduced. So that is a question well, that's what the answer he was saying right there. Also, the loss of him, the loss of the person who was active as the main programmer, was a big loss for the company. So the company has suffered a huge loss by losing him, so they can demand compensation from the perpetrator. So if he did die, if he was murdered, if they found the killer, then they could demand compensation from the killer. See, in Japan, it's a really interesting thing because it's the same thing with divorces that are done by an affair. Unlike the United States or other countries, if someone was having an affair with, let's say, a woman, she's married, but she had an affair with a guy in Japan, if they were caught and it was proven the fault, it's not the woman who would be liable, it would be the guy who would be liable, the person who caused the affair. So they look at the person who was involved in the affair as being the guilty guy that's going to have to pay a fine. Also, a big thing, that's one of the things of paying fines in Japan, especially if you're an actor, you got caught in a scandal, or you're in a movie, you have a movie or a commercial coming out or something, and if you did something stupid and you're at fault, oh, you're going to have to pay big time. And right now, it's just, here it is, we have something here with the him talking about the payouts. So right now, he's looking for the company's best interests. So trying to figure out not to pay the money or how to lower it. So again, the news reported that the person died while playing a video game, and they said, more than likely he died of stress from work, overwork. Of course, that means the company would have to pay the full compensation. But in this guy's case, he is now bringing up suicide, and then he's also bringing up, well, if he's murdered, they would only have to, the perpetrator would have to pay the fines. So that's where we're at right now. Let's see here. I see. It seems like the company's interests are the priority. like I was saying. So that's the question he was asking. So he asked him about the details. Now he's going to ask him about Sunaga. My name is Sunaga, and I work in sales. So that's all he's telling you there. We're going to go ahead and ask him another question. And this one is about the person who passed away. He's the main programmer for our company's major project. He had it's a real shame as I had high expectations for his future success as a I guess you could say it's an old term, but he was saying lograma. I wonder if it's the same thing as I don't know. It's like a early way of blogger or something, but I think it was just made mainly as a programmer as for the company. So he's asking you, please ask his colleagues about Murasaki-kun more than me, because he didn't really know him all that well. It would be better to ask around. Please free to come to my office anytime, and I will show you around. Gargle. No, just more like ask around. Okay, so right now we talked to him, and pretty much got those 3 answers. But let's say that you want to investigate, and we are going to investigate. Let's say we'll start with Sunaga first. Let's see what he says. So Sunaga, he has the stature and personality of a middle-aged Japanese office worker. In particular, the way he suddenly praises the other person makes him look like a salesman. Okay. Actually, so we did talk, and now we are continuing investigation, and I believe we did that one. So now we'll look at Izuna. She says, however, I wonder if it's okay for someone like me, who is originally an outsider, to talk like this. By all means, go for it. Please listen to me carefully. Is this perhaps an attempt to make them work for free? Well, Japanese companies are notorious about having people work and not get paid for it. Let's say that they were responsible for a project that was late, or they're being bullied, and these people who want to leave early and have fun, and they leave the work for that person because he's a junior or he's someone that's easily picked on. But the thing is, I understand what the question is. So we're going to make a call to Izuna. Okay. So that led to nothing. Just saying, hey, what are you calling for? Hi, do you need something from me? So just remember, this is an older game. This is before. Well, cell phones were around at that time. It's just, I guess, mass usability. And I think we did that. We did that, and now we get. Oops. Yes. Yeah, Nanika. No, it's nothing. So let's look at the business card. Sunaga's business card says that he is Sunaga Koji, sales manager at Cloche Company Limited. Cloche is a major game software manufacturer whose name everyone knows. Okay. So So we went through the business card. We went through Zuna, I believe. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we went through that. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Yeah, just keep on saving. And pretty much what you're gonna do throughout this game is you're gonna, pretty much deduce um, from the various selections you have. Again, you don't have that many selections. Similar to the cell phone, they didn't make it so convoluted back then for flip phones, but they put enough there just to focus on, what kind of aspects of the investigation you want to take on, to talk, to investigate, and so forth. If anything, I am enjoying this game. I've been looking forward for it to be on sale. It's the only reason why I got it is because I've been waiting. You can get it also on Steam, which is also on sale. This is all part of the Golden Week sale going on various consoles. But for those of you who don't know Golden Week, look at it as, how you have Christmas through New Year's Day off for most people. They don't have to go to school, or some don't even have to work. But yeah, Golden Week is that week in the leading up to the the last week of April and part of May or so. But that's where a lot of people who live far tend to go home, visit family. Um, yeah, it's pretty much a family event where you just have a full week of rest and relaxation, or going somewhere, or doing something. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why there is a major sale right now. Is because of the Golden Week sales. But yeah, this is Tante Kibukawa Ryosuke Jikentan. Tante is something you're going to be hearing a lot, which means detective. So let's say that, like Conan, me Tante Conan, Detective Conan. That's pretty much how that word is used. So just remember that, Tante. Anyway, we did save here. I just wanted to talk about the game. Probably going to go to bed right now. Just wanted to get this one out. But you all take care, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.